ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life.
Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Gang first, last.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Welcome to Brews and Reviews with Mick and Pat. I'm Mick.
And I'm Pat.
And each week we sit down with you degenerates and pretend we're certified cicerones and cinephiles.
That is right. So grab a cold one and join us as we review Trve Brewing's Tunnel of Trees and True Detective Night Country, Season 4, Part 4.
If you've been with us before, you know what time it is.
Release the Kraken!
I got rid of Dean. We have perfect synchronicity on the crack.
No fucking freshman amateur hours this week. I hope he's at home watching Night Country and catching up.
Yeah, since we brought him on a show to review a show he had not seen ever.
I thought he had watched like the first couple episodes at least.
I know. It was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. He was like the, because we have people who listen who've never watched the stuff we review too.
Yeah.
So he just got to be the one in the listener in the room with us, and he got to probably say the things that the listener would also say or think to themselves as we were going.
Just what a weird guy. Or honestly, what a homie, right? The fact that like I told him, hey man, yeah, come on and you come for the Brews and Reviews and we'll debrief SHOT Show afterwards. Mm-hmm. He's like, tight. And like the whole time he knew he hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
Like the whole time he knew he hadn't watched any minute of this show, and he still came to hang out. So what?
He was like, I was like, have you seen it? He's like, yeah, season 1. And I was like, oh man, I think that was 10 years ago. Yeah. But I was also like, oh man, because I was like, well, it's just not the same thing anymore.
Yeah.
But first off, we've been going through this brewery, Trve Brewery Co. True with a V.
Trve Brewing.
Brewing. Was I saying brewery?
I think that it is Trve Brewery.
Trve Brewery, but it's Trve Brewing Co.
Yeah, I think it's Trve Brewery on some material online.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think they say Trve Brewing Co.'s. They might say Trve Brewing. Gosh,
oh, no.
Damn, bro.
No,
can't say it.
Trve
right. Brewing Co. Trve Brewing's beer.
I like it.
I bet there's like 5 people. Like, I say 5 people because, just be transparent with like how many listeners we have. I bet out of the thousands of listeners we have, I bet there's 5 people who are like laughing at me, and then they tried it in their car literally just now, and we're like,
and they stumbled.
Mick, you idiot! It's true. Oh my gosh! You know what I mean?
Once you like break the glass on something, and then you think about it too much, it gets hard. It gets harder and harder.
Anyways,
but Tunnel of Trees is an IPA, an India Pale Ale.
Just like, what was the last one? Star Crusher.
Just like Star Crusher was also an IPA. This one, on the can, the cover, or the art on here is a tunnel of trees. Probably the simplest art we've seen so far. But still good. Just so, once again, matte black can. And we've just got green trees.
It doesn't even really look like a tunnel of trees on the can.
Right.
As much as it looks like a tunnel opening up to trees.
Yep.
Because there's literally a thing in up in northern Michigan that's a big attraction called the Tunnel of Trees. And it literally is like...
They've pruned it to be like a thick tunnel.
Like over 100 years. You know what I mean? So it's like actually a weird tunnel effect of going through the trees.
But, so, not the crazy kind kind of violent driven art that we've seen in the other ones, but it still has an eerie vibe to it.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of fitting for this episode because this episode was more boring than looking at a tunnel of trees. And it wasn't violent or scary. Actually, I guess there was a little bit of some scares at the end. But anyways, yeah, so True Brewery. What have we not said about these guys? I don't know. They're pretty cush. I hope they hear this podcast and send us just some sweaters. Nothing looks cooler than a matte black hoodie.
Oh yeah,
with some metal iconography.
It's true.
Also, dude, if they ever had a like a paperweight thing like on a desk, like how like Voodoo Ranger has like the Voodoo Ranger heads that are on display at stuff. If they ever had anything like that, I'd love to have that. Just like something to have up some swag of theirs.
Yeah, that'd be a great piece to the podcast room.
But honestly, I can't think of anything we haven't already said. So,
no.
True Brewing, they're great. Their beer so far has been knocked out of the park. Pat, what's unique about this IPA over the other one, Star Crusher?
Well, let's see here.
Do we have a Star Crusher can? We do. I'll get it so you can compare the
we can compare
hops
the hops and malts, because taste-wise, I'm trying to remember it exactly. But on this one, for the malts, we've got the Troubadour Truth. Let's see. Which this also has. This is confusing. All right.
True Brewing has Troubadour Truth.
Yes. The Troubadour Truth hops. Or no, malts.
Malts.
In the Tunnel of Trees. I'll say it again. Has Troubadour Truth. But the Star Crusher has
Troubadour Lies.
Troubadour the Truth.
Damn.
I don't know if there's a difference or if it's a typo.
They're just messing with us at that point.
So we got Troubadour Truth and then Troubadour the Truth. It's either a typo or it's a very, very similar malt.
Yeah.
Or it's totally different. They just added the in there. And then going on from there, hops in the Tunnel of Trees is Magnum, Citra, Centennial, and the Chinook. And for I should
Star
say this.
Crusher?
I should say this too, that the malts, there's just Troubadour Truth in the Tunnel of Trees, but malts for the Star Crusher has Troubadour the Truth, C30, Flaked Wheat, Simpson T50, and Weimerman Melanoidin.
That's a whole hell of a lot more.
So that's a lot more malts going on there.
Yeah.
And then hops wise, we got 4 hops for the Tree Tunnel and 3 hops for the Star Crusher, and none of them are the same.
Smoke break. Hey, Ken, it's Mick, and I've got something important to talk about. We all hope we never find ourselves in a self-defense situation, but life's unpredictable. Enter the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer, an actual credible law firm you can put on retainer for your self-defense needs. For just $35 a month, you get national coverage in all 50 states for criminal and civil legal representation in self-defense situations, complete with a 24/7, 365 toll-free emergency line. That's real legal support when you need it most. What's in the package? Bail bonds, scene cleanup, firearm replacement, even mental health counseling. Plus, 0 fees for a laundry list of defense-related costs like expert witnesses. So support the show and get yourself some peace of mind. Click the link in our show notes or visit our sponsors page to sign up for the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer.
Hey folks, Pat here. If you're like Mick and I, you're a fan of classic tales like Lonesome Dove, Blood Meridian, The Three-Body Problem, and Steinbeck's East of Eden. With Audible, you can dive into these epic stories anytime, anywhere. Sign up for a free month, and your first audiobook is on the house. To start your free trial and support our show, click the link in the show notes or swing by the sponsors page on our website.
Want an awesome website for your podcast? Check out Podpage. We use it for the Mick and Pat show, and it's a game changer. Set it up in minutes, no coding needed. Support the show by using our link to get started. Your podcast deserves a home as great as ours. Podpage, the one-stop solution.
So
completely different types of strains of hops.
yeah,
And one has definitely got way more malt flavor to it, which is interesting because I wonder if the malt stuff makes it smoother. Because all of us said the Star Crusher was a very smooth, crisp IPA. Like just no bite to it, really, not that bitter, just the most simple, smooth, and kind of crispy, hoppy flavor. I will say this, while you're looking at them and just having the artwork right next to each other, I could definitely see why like someone actually might hold on to these cans to just have them all together, like color coded, because it was very aesthetically pleasing seeing them both next to each other. It was really weird.
Whoever their artist is, they're talented. They're doing some good work. And this one, the taste on this one, I think, reminds me more of what I think I was having with an IPA. You know, it's got more of that strong, hoppy flavor to it. And that's, this one only has, just this one malt in there, and now it's got some more hops going on than the Star Crusher. So I think it's got more bite to it. It's not skunky, it's not dog foody, but it's just more...
Not that nasty dog food
just
smell.
More IPA-y than less
Fruity.
smooth than that last one. A little more fruity.
I think it's a fruitier smell. Like almost more apple, maybe citrus.
I agree.
All right, you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
What's it called?
The push it through your test.
There you go. All right, so while Pat follows along with the instructions, take a tablespoon sip and let it roll over the back of your tongue, around the sides of your tongue, down between your molars and tongue, and then switch it side to side. Then you put your tongue against the roof of your mouth and squeeze the beer forward between your big old chiclet buck teeth.
I've got like the Gap of Rohan in there. Did it all just passes through?
You don't have any gap in your teeth, though. Your teeth are very straight and very lined up.
They came together. I used to have a big old gap between the two front.
You have very straight, not crooked teeth. It's just that I'm always expecting you to flick one out and just like it be a piece of gum.
Is definitely chiclety for sure. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's pushing through the flavor there because it's mild. So
it is really mild.
When we do this with other IPAs, usually my tongue goes kind of numb.
Usually you taste the dog food.
And it tastes really just like bitter.
Skunky.
Bitter on the back of your tongue. Not getting that on this one. I like that. That's good. I don't know if I'd say it's a fruity taste, but it's not intrusive on the push it through your teeth test.
Yeah, I just had to do it again. And I know I've said this before, but it's like the good rancid taste. Like the good acrid. Like, again, not exactly fruity, but kind of like
fermented.
Acrid fruity. And it's appealing. I don't know, it's so weird because I want to say True won't like this, but I just want to be like it's almost like the same taste that I kind of associate with like just ales that I sometimes are like, that tastes a little too much like vomit. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's just enough of it that it's like honestly just pleasant, and I feel like smooth and crispy. I feel like this is a beer that honestly would probably taste twice as good if it was another 10 degrees colder. You know what I mean? Like it tastes like a beer that really like the full taste profile comes out if it's sub 40 degrees. Not freezing, but like keep it under 40 degrees.
Yeah, like 33 degrees,
Yeah.
cold.
Slushy. No, yeah, no. It's weird. It's good. It's very good. I think it's just like I can't put my finger on it exactly of like why it has that acrid taste, but it's just enough of it that
It's a little
it
closer,
kind of tingles my mouth a little. It's
to
yummy.
a pale ale.
It is
than
closer.
than that IPA.
Less Indian.
Yes, a little less Indian.
Less of a being on the starboard side of a vessel on its way to India, more of being on the port side.
Yep,
I
I agree.
True Cicerones will get that. I actually don't think that's true. Have you ever heard that story? That's how they got the name India Pale Ale? I don't think it's true, but this is what I've heard.
What's the
from some
legend?
people, is that when England was traversing ale to its military outposts in the colonies of India,
Mm-hmm.
the beer all the way to India would be in the sun.
Mm.
Like even it's underground. But like the sun's coming through the portholes on the barrels and shining it. And on the way back, there's no beer coming back.
Mm.
So only the beer on like the right side of the ship
Mm-hmm.
would get this
Different flavor to
skunky,
it.
yeah,
Hmm.
like more brewed taste, and they called it India Pale Ale because by the time I got there, it was paler than the like porter ales that they originally were brewed as.
Right.
Now, someone once told me that's absolute horse cock, and I don't know, they might be true, but I heard it, and I have never even looked it up, but I've heard it, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Why else would they name it India Pale Ale?
And I'm not even gonna look it up. I don't even want to know.
Think about it. Put a dark beer in a cask, and the sun shines it all the day and stuff, and some sailors pop it open and take some sips out, and it gets to off gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be paler than the ale that was in the shade the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Probably skunkier too. I don't know.
I agree.
So
I agree. We're gonna keep,
totally not a fact, but could be. Look it up and correct us.
we're gonna keep it back in the 90s when you just had to just hear something and think to yourself,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's true. I don't know.
Did you experience a lot of that in the 90s?
Just like not being able to Google stuff
Yeah.
as a kid, like you could just wonder.
That was kind of my joke, is that both you
No.
and I were like sub 10 years old in the 90s.
This is true. Not a lot of things going on in the 90s, but still.
But we took everyone at their word.
Yeah,
We were honest kids.
and and I was prime age for like, well,
Bullshit.
Tommy Collins said that
Yeah.
his dad could lift a car. You're like, well, I don't know. Good.
I was the prime age for anything anyone told me was scary. Like someone
Oh,
could
yeah.
point at a tree and be like, yeah, there's a ghost in that tree. And I'd be like, oh, God, I'm going to die. That ghost is going to come home and kill me.
Oh,
I
man.
just was such a scaredy cat as a kid, dude.
Really?
Like in some ways I wasn't. Like I was never afraid of bullies.
Mm.
But like supernatural stuff, I was just terrified. I believed everything anyone told me. When they're like, there's a man on the roof, I'd be like, he's going to kill us.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And speaking of the supernatural, or the lack thereof,
This awful episode of this show.
Mm.
Wait, hold on. You want to give thumbs to the beer? We almost
oh,
always
that's
forget.
true. Oh, yeah, I'm doing one thumb up.
One thumb up, just like Star Crusher
Yep, just like the other one. It's like this isn't going to the top of the
IPA list.
IPA list at the
Yeah.
moment, but it's good, and I'd like to drink it again.
Yeah, I give it a thumb up too. Easily a contender for a first IPA. I'd recommend someone to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To get a taste of the market. Again, though, like you said last week, if you don't like IPAs, you're not going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just enough of an IPA that if it's not your thing, you're not going to like it. But I know a lot of people who like this beer, and they're like IPA connoisseurs, and this is one of their favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. And maybe I wonder too though about IPAs in general. Like, it might be really hard to get it for an IPA to ever come here and get a 2 thumbs.
Just because of how oversaturated we are here.
Yeah, and because like there's other beers will pop open that are unique, and it's just like, whoa, that's crazy. That's a 2 thumber. Whereas like the IPAs are, whatever IPA makes it on the 2 thumb list,
It's a damn good IPA.
it's gonna have to be really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have to judge it off of being surprised at how good it is. Just at the fact that it is good.
Yeah. True.
So,
True brewing. True detective. True detective. True detective, this is not. Bro, all the memes I've seen of people just using Hank standing with the teddy bear, hoping his Russian bride would come out. And yeah, they're all like, me waiting for the true detective.
yeah, dude.
Like, dude, for real, bro. Like, all right. So let's talk about episode 4 or part 4 of this show. Again, it's a 6-part series this season, the shortest of them all, and episode 3 and 4 almost entirely filler. Dude, I was saying it to Billie Jean, and I'm gonna say it to you. It's getting hard to be optimistic about the show. Episode 1 and 2, super optimistic. Episode 3, we were all like, oh yeah, classic episode 3 filler, but they're gonna have to really dial it in to keep on pace and keep things focused. Good thing they probably won't struggle, because if they're containing a 10-episode series into 6 episodes, then there should be no problem. Bro, this episode, it really came clear that this was a show or a movie that got adopted as a true detective series, as a true detective season. But yeah, I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. And for anyone who's wondering, I'm just gonna say, like, if you watch it, you know why. It was boring. We didn't really care about the character development. The sister dying, boo-hoo, nothing was lost. Also, the most unrealistic shit I've ever seen in a true crime show is like a more unrealistic than the Coast Guard finding her in the dark off of the northern Arctic coast of Alaska in the winter. So it was like, good thing she had that tat on her ass saying, "Call my sister if you find me dead at 879." Whatever. Yeah. Like, I was like, how the hell did she disappear an hour ago? They already found her. And like,
just shout out to those Coast Guard boys, because that find of the century.
Yeah,
find of the century.
So crazy. But what's more unbelievable than that, coming from a law enforcement background, is someone being able to walk out of that clinic. In the U.S., there's not a single clinic that I know of, even if it's by volunteer, like you voluntarily submit yourself to the clinic. I don't know a single one where you're just allowed to get up and walk out.
Right.
Like, it's so closely monitored. It's like, that's not how that works. And that was like the biggest critique I saw online too, of people who like have worked in those clinics or like in the hospital and stuff, and they get it. They're like, that is ridiculous. There is no one would ever use that as an excuse either. Like, well, we can't keep them. It's submitted to the clinic. It's like, no, like, we keep them here pretty hardcore.
Easy fix. It's Christmas Eve, understaffed. We didn't check the bed. She snuck out. Just,
sure.
Like, that's the sort of stuff when you're on this level of making a show.
Yeah.
Just fix it. It's like,
or if you're going to try to be like, come off like you're really familiar with the concepts of mental health, just do your fucking research and understand that's not how it works. That's not how mental health works in the U.S., regardless of where you're at.
Yeah. And there has been, they haven't built any more mystery.
No. Bodies are gone.
There's been no additional like in the previous seasons. We get like, it basically gets solved, but then they're wrong, or like they get close, but there's another person like, and they're gonna have to do that with a little bit, but at the same time, there is the gripping mystery, and like on the supernatural front versus like, are people just losing their minds? Are they what's going on? They're not explaining anymore in any direct. They're just muddying it up. They're not making it any clearer. I'm like, Navarro needs to be hospitalized clearly after this, or she's very in tune with the supernatural realm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It sucks that the most interesting part of this episode is Hank's heartbreak.
Yeah.
Like, Hank is supposed to be the bad guy, I guess. One of them. not a dude we identify with, and seeing him stood up by his mail order Russian bride, and his son concerned about him. Did you send them money? That sucked. And that is the best part of this episode. Is
the most real,
the most like the thing you relate to the most, the thing that was most entertaining of just like, oh, this poor guy, this sucks. Anyone who was like, I don't know, I saw some people on Reddit who were like, yeah, it was really hard for me to watch the sister walk off into the snow and kill herself and suicides. And I was like, anyone who thought that acting was remotely realistic or that she was a good actor I thought the sister's so bad. Dude, I'm happy she's done off the show. She was taking up screen time. The only thing that I remotely think was of any value out of that whole shot was her folding her clothes.
Yep, and that's one thing I wanted to talk about, which was she folded the clothes.
Yeah, she gets naked out in the middle of nowhere and starts walking off into the Arctic. But before she does that, she folds her clothes up and leaves them behind, which I think backs my theory of it's a very womanly behavior.
In the opening title sequence of the last episode, it showed a lady drowning, like almost in a uniform.
That's
something,
actually so. I have a theory
with her hand up, but
go ahead.
But then in this episode, the hand was fatter and a little more looking like the sister. I think in this opening scene.
I have bad news for you.
What's that?
I genuinely believe they went back and re-edited the intro to every episode.
Yes.
I think all of them are different now.
Oh, like if you go watch them now?
Yeah. Because I thought the intro was different this time too. And the thing that gave it away was because it said executive producer Nick Pizzolatto. I was like, oh, he's never been an executive producer. I wonder if that has to do because he deleted a bunch of stuff off of social media where he was critiquing the season, and he said I had nothing to do with this season. I had no hand in it. They didn't ask me to write anything. He was kind of like butthurt. But then all of that stuff got deleted off of social media. And rather than just having it in the credits saying based on the series True Detective
it
written
said
by
executive producer.
It said executive producer now. And I also was like, oh my gosh, those are women. Those women are all the police officers. That's definitely supposed to be Danvers. That's definitely supposed to be Navarro. That is definitely a Native American woman, not a Native American, an Inuit woman's hand because of the tattoos on it. So it's not Navarro or Danvers. All that said, my wife, Billie Jean, also thought it was different. And then we went back to watch the intro of each episode again. Totally different. I mean, all of them were the same now. All of them were the same because I think something happened with Nick and they had to retroactively go back and update all of the intros to say he was executive producer. And they just retroactively went back. Because even episode 1, I thought, I swear the intro to episode 1 was different in order to not spoil the frozen bodies and stuff. If you go back to episode 1 and watch the intro, totally spoils the rest of the episode with like the frozen bodies where they
So what you're saying is as these episodes air, they're retroactively changing the live streamed like intro. Yeah. So
I think each episode was having a different intro until whatever they did with Nick to make him an executive producer. And I think legally they went back and changed them all now.
And the art's different too.
It's all the same throughout every episode now.
Now
the intro's
now
the
it's
same.
all the same.
Yeah.
Where before it was definitely different.
Where before it was different episode to episode.
Okay.
The only
Well,
thing
I guess-
that I noticed that was different still was the holding scene at the end of every intro credits. It's a like
it's a scene that happens towards the
episode.
end of the episode or in the episode. Yeah.
Mm.
So I guess next week we'll just have to watch and see if what they might be redoing all the intro like
they could be right
as it comes out,
That'd be intense.
redoing the end like so.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if they change it up on us again.
Because
See
I
what the
also
deal
I was
is.
like, I swear I don't remember the peeled orange in the water. In the intro this week, there was the orange peel and a spiral peel in the water. And I was like, I feel like I would have noticed that, but maybe I didn't. You know what I mean? It was pretty intense. Billie Jean and I had the same thought, and she literally wrote down what each scene was with whoever's name was in the credit order.
Oh, wow.
And we went back and it was like, sure enough, like everything was changed to be the same now. So we were, and both of us were like, no, that's not how it was. I swear it was different.
All right. If someone has a device
Yeah.
that's downloaded the episode and you haven't watched it yet and you haven't updated your phone,
Let us know.
turn it off. Turn off the
Never connected to the internet again.
do not let them change this on you, and send us the screen recording of that thing. We need to know. We need to get to the bottom of this.
What's crazy is that is the most like. What's sad is that
Intriguing mystery.
yeah,
of the show.
the most intriguing mystery is the 30 seconds of an intro over the rest of the episode, because the rest of the episode, if you can't tell, was just not very entertaining. It was a Christmas episode, and it was Christmas Eve and then Christmas, and everyone was like, but it's Christmas Eve. And I'm like, there's a murder. Okay, guys? Like, takes a little bit of priority over stuff, but whatever. Hank got stood up. It was really sad. He's out there by the plane for this connecting flight from wherever Russian bride's hopefully supposed to get off, and there's this glimmer of hope where this beautiful woman steps down on the stairs. Then she waves at the
bag
landing crew guy, yeah, and he helps her load up the stairs, and you realize, oh, she's just the stewardess. And he just goes home so sad, and we see he just has like all these sincerely thought out, considerate decorations and stuff for a woman to come like for the first time over to this home. And the rose petals on the camouflage bedspread, dude, I was just like, that's a country song, bro.
Yeah.
Someone's writing that right now. Petals on the bedspread. It's just going to be like absolute country. But anyways, I just felt bad
that
for Hank.
mossy oak hides my tears. It's just, oh my God. It is so sad. And I think she took the first flight, didn't take the second flight.
Like she's in America.
Like she's in America now, or either is never a woman, just a hairy dude who is texting him, getting his money.
I swear it's just a guy from India.
Yeah, just taking his money, or got into the country and then dipped out after the first flight. Oh, so poor Hank though, because also they haven't been making Hank more scary or more bad, because he had some like weird. There was some weird edges to him, some things we don't know.
Yeah. But he hasn't done like anything evil.
Now he's just like a grumpy single dude in a crappy dark town.
Yeah,
acting like how he should.
But you know what he did do? He did the healthy thing. He reached out.
He did.
He reached out to his son. He said, "Son, would it be okay if I came over and hung out with you and my grandson?" And that's the healthy thing, because he could have just decided, "Screw it, I'm just going to drink this bottle empty by myself on Christmas." Pryor as well, Hank's son, Peter Pryor, but we just call him Pryor, just like his wife. His wife has him saved as Pryor on her phone, and I was like, what?
As in Pryor husband?
Yeah.
like it was
nice.
Pryor. I call him PP for short.
Yeah.
But this dude is definitely the most heart of gold person on the show.
And he's cracking.
And
bro.
he is screwed.
Yeah. He's the one that we're all going to be pissed that he cracks and dies.
Well, I thought I thought we were about to get our shootout.
Yeah, me too.
When Danvers got drunk and didn't come and made Peter go, I thought that he was going to get. I thought there was a 50-50 chance he was going to be bloody.
Like, oh, so that's what this episode was going to be. It's the episode where Peter dies. All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The thing this episode happens. And then it didn't happen, and I was like, fucking cop-outs.
Not only did it not happen, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And when they, like, at first I was like, oh, they're just going to, like, let them leave. But then when, like, they all took a step forward with their dogs, I was like, oh, my God, we're literally going to get to see Pryor eaten, bro. These dogs straight up about to eat him.
Which, not that it matters, maybe, but I don't think anybody's held a gun this whole movie. Like any of the detectives, like the detectives. Sorry. There's been like hunters holding a gun and like Indians holding a gun.
Bro, this episode and last episode, they have their guns out, pointed at that abusive husband when they get on the scene.
But this is all in the past.
Oh,
like there's just been no like. urgency of like I'm walking into a really sketchy situation. Like here's the deal: in the movies, cops always have drawn way before they're supposed to.
Pryor and Navarro entered into the residence of this cabin with their guns drawn.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think they were just in their hips.
I think so because I was like, Pryor just flagged Navarro.
Could have been.
Anyways,
I just want to see a little more like of that, a little more gunplay, or teasing of the gunplay.
Yeah,
something. Just
dude, with that flashback though, where Danvers is confronting Navarro and she's like, "I've seen you have that look before."
Yeah,
I think that gives credence to my theory. I think Navarro shot him because Navarro sees the ghost
and
in her face, and she pulls the gun up and pulls the trigger, and the ghost isn't there, and she just brain splatters that fucking dude.
Something.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I think you are right. And for all that Danvers doesn't believe in other things, that scene where Navarro comes and shares that her sister's died, the Danvers really gets into her face about like you saw something, like you saw it, and like so I'm like, does she mean like you were mentally unstable and you really did like you were seeing these things because you're losing your mind, or is this a part of Danvers that is like at the same time in the same sentence she threw the bear out the window to be like there's nothing, like the dead are gone, and then also turned to Navarro and said like genuinely you saw something. So I'm like, what does this lady believe? Yeah.
I don't know if it's about belief though. I think it's about comfort. I think she realizes at first she's defensive to Navarro, and Navarro's, spooks. But then when she finds out Navarro's grieving, mourning, sister just died, then Danvers swaps over to comforting, reassuring. Excuse me, apologize for yawning. But like reassuring and comforting Navarro with like, I just want to say like reinforcement that like Navarro's not crazy, that whatever got her sister doesn't mean she's crazy, But it was kind of weird too. I felt it was a lot of character that Navarro all of a sudden just flipped and was like, I can feel it. I'm next. I'm gonna kill myself. And I was like,
she hasn't showed.
We haven't seen any sign of self-harm from Navarro yet. Next thing that I just want to say, turns out someone dug up a podcast that Issa Lopez was on way back when Night Country got announced that it was in production. And apparently HBO was shopping around for a new season of True Detective, and they read Issa Lopez's script for Night Country. And they're like, oh, we could do True Detective with this. And now I don't recall Issa Lopez saying anything about if it was a movie or a show originally, miniseries. But it really does feel like it was supposed to be like a 3-part miniseries, like maybe a 3-hour movie.
Its own thing.
Yeah. And it just kind of sucks. Because, like, it just kind of confirms what we all were afraid of. Like, oh, this could be a True Detective. Oh, there's some references to season 1, but nothing else seems to be, like, in the same spirit. It's a little too supernatural. And then it's like, oh, this was a supernatural cop movie. Probably horror movie. And it got slapped with True Detective for the sake of like drawing viewers in,
and which makes it even more so like you should have left it as a even if you made it True Detective, don't tie in the first season so strongly
without probably any payoff happening. Like they mentioned Tuttle's, and the fact that we haven't had the name Tuttle dropped every single damn episode, but only in the first one or the second one, that just sucks. Like that's such a missed opportunity to build onto that really bigger mystical universe of like cult corporation, Cult Incorporated. Dude, the Night Country, I mean, gosh, I don't know if I've seen worse written dialogue since in Morbius he said, it's Morbin time. And then he morbed all over the place.
Morbed on him.
That scene where it's like just the background music's just like have sex while like he's dancing in the mirror making vampire faces. I was like, gosh, this movie sucks. And then I immediately thought of that when this friggin' German dude Otis was like, the Night Country, we're all in the night country now. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, please, someone be like, I'm the true detective.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want more
Yeah.
than anything
Yeah.
else now is just like, just commit to like overselling it and overhamming it. Cause I just thought that was bad.
Yeah.
But what could it be? I think it's probably the mines,
Mhm.
but I feel like that's a cop out. Night
Mhm.
country. Why not just like, you know what would have been scarier if he was like, he's in Carcosa.
Yeah.
That'd
no
be
kidding.
like, oh shit.
That would make your hair stand up
Oh
on
yeah,
your back,
yeah.
even if there was no payoff for that either. But
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're in the night country now, and he's in the night country now. Where you can't escape, whatever. So it's like, is it a state of mind? Is it a place? Is it a what's going on? Well, I don't know.
But how did Otis experience all the same, like, pain, injuries that those men did?
Self-inflicted finger biting,
Blown out eardrums, the blindness.
Mhm.
How did he experience all that and live? That's my thing.
right?
And he's clearly a drug addict. But, like,
Mhm.
I also think that gives credence to the instant freeze fridge at the fishery.
Mm.
Like, they did something to him, but they didn't finish it, and he ran and got away.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's got to be something like that where, like, they fucked up the first time, and they're like, well, we won't make that mistake again.
Mhm.
And, you know what I mean? I'm really struggling to see how he could have all the same stuff, but
And
not
is
have any limbs gone.
And is he supposed to be the guy who's mapped the caves?
He was supposed to be the
Right.
guy who originally mapped the caves,
But who also in the
and he's going to be their crackhead guy.
yeah, dude, going to a blind.
Hey, just follow me. I know my way because if you just put your just like the dwarves of Moria, if you put your hand on the right side of the cave, you'll always be able to get out.
It's like, dude, a blind crackhead guiding you through through frozen
For
tundra
real.
and ice glaciers and fissures and stuff, and also spirals. Has it been overused yet?
Yes, it was so cool at the beginning when they were like, "Oh yeah, you remember this?" And we were all like, "Ooh!" And now it's like, whatever. Like, ooh, another one.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's like there's like not enough identity with it yet
Mm-hmm.
to justify its oversaturation. Like it was kind of spooky though, don't get me wrong. Like it made me unsettled when I saw it in that shack with the shotgun frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh, didn't they just see him like 2 days ago? And like that's how cold it gets that quickly
Mm-hmm.
here. Like it's shotgun frozen in place. And I was like, that's pretty suspicious. And that makes me think like he didn't just like take some charcoal and draw the sign.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think someone took him
Mm-hmm.
and set the shotgun down
Mm-hmm.
like gently to be like, yeah, there was no struggle.
Yeah.
Like we got him. And oh yeah, here's our signature. So but then like you see it and it's kind of weird. Like you see the spiral in two different iterations. There is the like almost religious iconography of it and
Mhm.
like carved into stone very cleanly, drawn very cleanly. But then there's like, and that seems to me like religious of like,
Mhm.
I worship this thing. It's sacred. And I will let people know this is the sign of my faith. But then there's
The
the
manic.
manic depictions of it, of like the people who are like, this is the sign of the devil.
Yeah, they
you
like
know?
rubbed their hands until
Yeah.
they bled and then rubbed it in a circle.
Yeah.
Like that craziness. While I was watching the last scene of this,
Yeah.
while I had the lights on. With
Did you
the-
poopy?
No, I had because I had my AirPods in.
Yeah.
And they were noise canceled. And as Navarro turned and there was that ghost,
Yeah.
he's turned the lights out.
Oh. And then you poopied.
I did poopy. I started screaming. I was like, hey, turn those back on. Turn those back on right now.
Dude, you don't have Mace Windu watch it with you?
No, she's not, she would not be.
Even if you sat down together and
No, she would.
cuddled.
There would be no upside to her watching this with me.
Really?
She would not like it. She would not. There would be
That's
no. It'd be
crazy.
no. She would. She's not into. It would be too scary. Too much.
Billie Jean definitely has her limits too. Of like, it's a certain level of tolerable spook.
Right.
And I don't know if we've gotten to the limit yet. There's been a couple times where I know we've gone through a movie. It's so fun. Repeatedly, this is the process of her like, oh my God, why did you make me watch this? I didn't want to watch it. Why are we watching it? Oh my God, tell me when it's over. Tell me when it's over. Tell me when it's over. Like, end of the movie. That was so stupid. That wasn't even scary. Every single time, bro. It's like she totally mind wipes. But yeah, that scene was scary at the end when she jumped.
Mm-hmm.
I was still unclear. Was there really a Christmas tree with that weird speaker?
Because
Danvers seemed
went
like it was there.
Her face was illuminated by it.
Yeah.
Also, like the wet footprints. Like there's just certain things that's like,
Yeah, and
like ghosts can't make wet footprints.
Billie Jean noticed that there was the footprints, but the whole time Otis had shoes on.
Right. And so that was something else, someone else that's floating.
There,
You know, and it showed like maybe her dead sister's
that was
body
definitely
floating,
her sister in
right,
the water.
You know,
yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't know, but her. Do you notice her ears were bleeding at the end?
Just the left one. No, just the right one. Just the right ear was bleeding,
So
but not the left.
What's up with that?
It's gonna be a like a cop out thing.
Yeah,
They're gonna be like, oh, from your brain injury from getting stomped in
by those dudes.
Yeah, because those dudes reminded you why women don't compete in men's MMA.
Oh my God.
Bro, dude, they rocked her so she did good. Don't get me wrong.
It was a valiant fight.
It was a valiant fight, but like she grabbed a freaking hubcap and cracked a dude across the face with it.
Oh yeah.
She is lucky they didn't murder her after that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure.
She took it like a champ, though.
I wasn't sure what her status was going to be afterwards. Also, like having facial dermal piercings,
and getting
punched, rocked like that seems like a nightmare.
You're gonna have those are falling out, dude. That is totally tearing skin, and those are coming loose.
It's just a nightmare.
That could have been a good squeamish moment to just show like blood pushing out of the hole. Like that would have been good.
One time I got in a little motorcycle fender bender.
Oh yeah.
Because the main car wreck, I was on a motorcycle, main car wreck happened in front of us and then got pushed into us and hit my motorcycle. But this girl gets out of the car and she's like holding her, like she's bleeding everywhere. So I grab a towel and she puts it over her nose, but she had like a couple big nose. She had a couple big nose rings and the blood started coming out of the holes of the nose rings. So yes, I've seen that. And that would have been a great payoff and a great, scary, realistic thing to have the blood coming out that thing. Yeah. Would have been wild.
I am losing faith in the show. I am, dude. It's like after this past episode, the faith in the show's writing just, and it really, the nail in the coffin was just her walking out of the mental health clinic and being found within an hour by the Coast Guard. I was just like, I don't even think naked you'd make it to the coast.
No,
I think you'd make it 100 yards, maybe. You know, Wind River.
Yeah.
Wind River shit, right? Like, you're not making it far.
Yeah, in that cold.
Yeah.
You really aren't. There's no way. And I don't know how they're going to bring it together to be... There's not enough stuff that they've set up for a good payoff in these last two episodes because they have stopped building on the stuff from the first two.
This community is also full of idiots because there was that one guy who was like... just so everyone knows, Hank's thermostat was not around in the 90s. And it was just like, okay, they have iPhones. What are you smoking, bro?
Yeah.
You think this show's in the 90s? So, anyways, my last point, other than my theories haven't really changed much. But my last point is, if no one tells Pryor, since he's doing all the hard work, if no one tells him that he's the true detective, as they die, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I want Danvers or Navarro or Hank, just someone to be dying and be like, Peter, you're the true detective of Night Country. and just die. Just so I can be like...
Die with their tongue out all slow.
Yeah. Like, just, cross-eyed. I just like that'd be the best. Like that'd be the only thing that's it's like literally like telling people like, yeah, you got to watch the show. It's so good.
Steering to the skid.
Yeah, honestly, I would, bro. At this point,
$500 million joke.
I would at this point, bro.
That's funny.
Okay, my theories. I think Kavik, when he takes the stone that Navarro found, well, he doesn't take it. She sets it down in his house while he's helping fix her injuries from her getting the snot beat out of her. I think the show wants us to believe she just forgot to pick it back up. I think he's going to have moved it and placed it somewhere that she's going to be like, that's the stone I left at your house. How did it get here? Because you're a part of it. Because you're a part. And it's going to be indicting of Kavik. And then I also think that Danvers' daughter is still going to die. And when she dies, it will be the catalyst that gets us back to like the pacing of a real true detective show. Honestly, I'm just waiting for her to die.
Yep.
Because when she does die, then it's like the big thing has happened, right? It'll probably be the big shootout. And then everyone will get back on top of the horse.
I like it. Kavik, second best character in the whole show,
Easily.
in my opinion. Him and Peter. I wish, maybe.
I wish him and Peter were the detectives.
on the case, And also the smoothest move in history.
Yeah.
Proposing to reset a bone. That's smooth. That's
totally
slick.
Just shows that Navarro is 100% female. Bro.
Yeah.
Totally got her distracted.
You just pop that thing
She was
back
like,
in.
She was like, Kavik, no, Kavik. Oh,
I did not
you
see
bastard.
that. I did not see that coming. I was like, this poor guy's about to get his heart broken.
I was like, dude,
Kavik's
she's gonna
smooth. Kavik's.
Was anything told you, giving you the inclination that this horse can be saddled?
Yeah.
Like, I think she's pretty wild there, partner. She's a Mustang. I don't think you're putting this. I don't think this one's gonna be a homesteader.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's too good. So, where does it go from here?
Danvers' daughter dies. Kavik's the bad guy, or part of the big bad.
All right.
Otis leads them in the mines, betrays them because he's a meth head.
Yeah.
They see whale bones in the mines, and like, this is where Annie died. I don't know what else.
Which I will say,
I'm running out.
We've watched Annie's phone dying video enough times now.
I have it memorized.
Yeah. The screaming.
Yeah.
Which also how the phones stop recording, blacking out. The fake
Someone cut the power.
Yep.
And then the phone also went out like an EMP.
Yeah, the EMP, the magical EMP. I'm looking forward to what the explanation is for the magical EMP.
Someone cut the power out at Salal just like they did in the mines. Really? Are you sure? Seems like the power didn't get cut out. Seems like someone got Annie, murdered her, beat the snot out of her, and then stopped the recording. I don't know. The recording didn't seem like the power went out to me.
Right, yeah.
But it definitely seems like the power goes out, EMP, surge, whatever, at Salal.
So, I'm just waiting for the explanation on that. We'll see.
Yeah.
They have 2 episodes to tie it up.
It's going to be going breakneck, dude. Speed of light. It's going to be hard to follow. It's going to be, here's my biggest concern. It's going to be
simple.
episode 9 of Star Wars, where it's just like,
wrap it all
what
up.
the hell is going on? It's going so fast. Just jumping. So,
Yep. Oh, man. We'll see.
Your thoughts this episode?
Yeah, it just was just kind of a lot of nothing.
I give it a thumb down.
Yep.
This episode sucked.
Yep. I'll go with you on the one thumb down. And here's it. What if? Because now you've got my hopes up for it.
You hope someone tells Peter he's the true detective?
No. What if there's just no shootout this whole
Bro, dude.
What if there's not even a bullet fired? Like, what if they do? Because they haven't even shown Navarro shoot that guy in the flashback. What if, as a part of the whole woke nature of this whole deal,
like, I just wanted to show that gun violence is bad and not necessary. And I'm just like, die.
Yeah. So what's gonna? I don't know. Just saying, a gun hasn't even been fired yet. Has it? He didn't even get a shot off at that caribou.
It's true.
The bullet hasn't even flown. So I'm just wondering if there's also like, is this artistic play or is this like Star Wars
Sounds
later
like-
episodes, just some, agendas. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Sounds to me like the same mistake that D&D made for Game of Thrones. Dan and David, I think, were the name of the showrunners, and they went by D&D. And they were like, yeah, for season 7 or season 8, whatever the final season was for Game of Thrones, we really wanted to, I think they said something like, usurp expectations. I was like, yeah.
Like, let down.
I was gonna be
your
like, you
audience?
mean like be the greatest disappointment in all of television? Like, it was something along those lines, where they were like, essentially they were just like, we wanted to, we wanted the audience to be like, wow, they totally twisted on that one. That really fooled me. What a crazy twist. And rather than just being plain into what everyone's theory was. And I get it. You read enough of the internet posts on the theories of how Game of Thrones ends, you find that a couple people get it 100% right. Because there's such a big fandom, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
Just let them be right.
Or
Just be like, wow, they figured it out. That's so cool.
or use them
Let's
as
deliver.
use them as free writers.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
honestly, like take the fan fiction,
Yeah.
build the best story, and just crush it.
That's what George R. Martin has done. He's confessed. He's gone online and read some people's fan theories and be like, wow, they definitely know the end of that character.
Yeah.
They know it through and through. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah. It's like, and other people have good ideas too.
Yeah.
Random people on Reddit. That's brilliant.
But don't usurp my expectations just because you don't want it to be predicted by one person, right? If it's predicted by one person and it's still good, it's probably still going to be really good. And like, I don't know, the rest of this, we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. I don't have high hopes. I swear if there is no shootout, I'm going to just treat this like the extra Indiana Jones movies. Indiana Jones is a trilogy. There's no 4 and 5.
Yeah.
True Detective is just 2 seasons.
1 and 3.
Yeah, 1 and 3. We'll see. I don't know. At the same time, bro, I also, like, as much as I've been tearing it apart, I've also been playing a lot of quarterbacking with my own writing. Of just like how I write stuff for like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, right? And I just been like, gosh, it's so hard to write a detective series because you have to know the ending.
It's easy to write a pilot.
Yeah.
It's hard to write Return of the Jedi.
I feel like the detective series stuff, especially good ones, good mysteries, where you allow the audience to telegraph and learn and solve the mystery before the end. I feel like those are the hardest things to write. Like, how do you each episode reveal a little bit more to the audience so that the way they get an idea and they can start formulating theories, but not give too much away so that way you keep them engaged.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, have you ever heard of the show? It was a very popular, The Mentalist.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch The Mentalist? Dude, my grandfather and I, Pops and I watched The Mentalist religiously. He loved it. I loved that he loved it. I don't know if I really loved the show that much, but I loved that he loved it. And we would watch it every week. He'd record it on the DVR, and we'd watch it every weekend. And I just remember being like, Red John. Who's Red John, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Red John.
I
Who
forgot about
murdered
Red John.
Jane's wife? And then you get to the end of it, and you're like, huh? This is Red John? This feels pretty phoned in.
Yeah.
This feels like way out of left field. There was some definitely other guys that they thought were Red. They even brought those guys here, being like, yeah, so I think one of you is Red John. It is like, yeah, I could see it. It's definitely one of those two. And it was none of the dudes you really thought. It was just kind of shoehorned one guy. And I think he got iced pretty quick after. Like, there wasn't, like, that's a big problem with a lot of shows is they reveal who the secret bad guy is. And they don't let them hang around long enough to keep on doing bad guy stuff.
Yep.
And that's a bummer.
It's like Moriarty is a great bad guy.
Moriarty from
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's just like a lot of, and there's been a lot of different versions, iterations of Sherlock Holmes, but a lot of Moriarty is like he's never the main bad guy in whatever tiny story it is, but he has some flavor in there, just like the Emperor, the Sith Lord, right? Like there's always some other littler Sith going on, right?
Dude, the best part about the prequels is knowing like without a
Palpatine.
doubt, like Palpatine is the Emperor.
Oh yeah,
You know, and you like see it in episode 1 if you've seen the prequels. I remember I saw episode 1, I'm like, I don't know, whatever, whoever that old guy is,
yeah.
didn't care. And like,
Yeah.
was it until like I had seen the other prequels before episode 3, watched them all, and lead up to episode 3 coming out, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. That's like that.
It was crazy, bro. I think a good one who did it well, though. Did you ever watch Person of Interest, that show?
I thought it was a good show.
With Jim Caviezel and the guy from Lost. Dude, they reveal the villains. The big bad is that secret, like, not just dirty cop, but like syndicate criminal organization through all of law enforcement, all the way up to FBI and stuff. And their like code sign is Tiger, Tiger.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember like when they revealed that, and you're like, oh, the cops are the bad guys. And then like you realize which cops are the bad guys, and they let the bad guy villain cops be around for a long time. Like they're around for season after season. And when they finally get iced, there's still some like more bad guys, you know, like different that stuff brought up in the series. But I was just like, they killed them off at a good point where you're like, that made sense. And those guys were bad guys, and we knew they were bad guys, and we got to enjoy watching them be bad guys for a while, you know. And I wish more stuff would do that. And like, honestly, that's my biggest critique of season 1 too, is I wanted to see. I really like
a bad guy we really hate, not just some
dude,
random mentally disturbed guy who we barely.
I thought he was fascinating, bro. Like when they finally reveal Earl. And you realize everything he says and his weird accents are all just from VHSs he was forced to watch while, you know, handcuffed to the radiator.
Yeah.
That is a psychological fascination of a criminal, right? Like, and I would just love to watch him do some more stuff and just like quote more movies. It was so good. And I always see that actor and other stuff now. I'm just like, there will be no one as scary as he is to me. Like he just terrified the hell out of me with his 1,000-yard stare, you know, like he did in the season 1. And I just that's my biggest regret, is that we didn't get more time with him before he was axed. What happened to him? How did they kill him? They shoot him in the head?
I can't remember.
I can't remember if they shoot him in the head or they like straight up like drop a shovel or a hatchet in his head. I know it's a pretty close fight.
Because
everyone gets stabbed or shot a little bit.
McConaughey's pretty jacked up at it at the end.
Yeah, I think they blow his brains out with like a ankle revolver.
Oh yeah, that's
Something
always a
like
great
that.
move.
Yeah,
that's always a great maneuver.
Yeah, that's why I need to get an ankle revolver, just so I can finish off a bad guy like that.
Yeah, bad guys. Nobody. The only people who get shot with ankle revolvers,
bad guys,
are bad guys.
Yeah, true that.
You know, that's my theory. That's
Anyways,
my fan theory.
This episode was literally saved by us talking about better shows. And we hope you found some kindredness in those shows. Let us know your thoughts on True Detective Season 4, Part 4. We hope you're enjoying True Brewing Co.'s beers. We certainly are. Unlike True Detective Season 4, they have all been pretty good bangers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm here to see what comes out next from True Brewing. But thanks for joining us, kid. We appreciate you taking a listen, sharing the show, leaving comments, liking and subscribing, all that good stuff. And we will catch you next time.
Till next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you love this episode, drop us a review. If you have qualms or comments, leave us a voicemail on our website. While you're there, check out our latest news, merch, and deals from our sponsors. Till next time, Ken.